So he's saying the files are a hoax. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that the actual documents they have, they're not going to release because he's saying it's made up by Comey and Obama and that crew? Does he really expect that everyone's going to buy that? I think I don't think it's going to work.
I think the administration has been so careless with the rollout of this stuff. I'm almost to the point where no matter what they actually do put out for public consumption, people are going to feel like there's more. People are going to feel like it's not enough. There's other things that are being hidden. These press conferences and speaking to the press and not having all your ducks in a row is probably the worst thing that they could have done. And it's really hurt the MAGA base, the base's trust in the administration.
It's also given the Democrats a really big opening, right? I mean, we see that now, too. We see AOC being like, oh, of course, if you have a rapist in the White House, then you're not going to release the Epstein tapes. You have Ro Khanna coming out and being like, basically, you know, the Democrats are like, we're going to release the files to every single bill you guys put forth, which is a big stunt, but is what they're doing. And today they, you know, over the weekend, Epstein was a huge deal at Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. Everyone had something to say about it. Jack Posobiec, Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly. There was an awful lot to talk about, Tucker Carlson. And then today you have Trump. First, he calls it a hoax. He also then said that Pam Bondi should release any remaining files. And then he repeated that later, I think on the tarmac at Andrews. He said, let them have it, release any credible information.
What does that mean, credible information?
I have no idea what that means. I mean, does it mean like the stuff that's not the victims? You know, nothing about the victims? Does it mean the grand jury testimony? Does it mean depositions?
Guys, just help me out here. Why is if I don't understand what's going on? Why doesn't Trump just lie better?
Well, I was at the I was in Tampa too for that event, and yeah, I mean that was the talk. I mean, even everyone in the base is pretty much pissed off about this whole Epstein thing. And hell, I debated Destiana a little bit as well about it, and I gave my position on it yesterday. I don't think we're ever going to get it because of the sensitive nature, where I think there's going to be other foreign nations implicated. We know which one, especially in the Middle East. First it was there's no files, nothing to see here. Now it's just release whatever's credible. It just looks bad. And then you were saying, Phil, how like they rolled this out poorly. I agree. As soon as they brought those idiots over to the White House and gave the binders of the flight logs, which we had already all saw before.
And it was more redacted than information already in the public.
Yes. It was really bad. So this entire Epstein situation has been 100% fumbled, right? With the JFK stuff, they fumbled that a little bit too, but let's be honest, the people that care about JFK and crazies like me and some others, but it's so old, most of the people are dead from it, but Epstein people are interested in, right? Because it was recent. So they can't fumble that one as bad. So,
I think people care about it because it gets to the question of this deep suspicion that we can't trust the people in charge of our government and that we don't know who's in charge. Ron Dodson had a great tweet thread about this, that it's kind of a Rorschach test. If you try so hard to not care about this, it's worth being suspicious about you, right? But to the rest of us, and I do think normal people care about this, actually. It's this final kind of window into a potential loss of faith of the integrity of, I'm not going to say the integrity of our democracy, but who's in charge?
No, I mean, to that point, I mean, you look at the past 25 years, the lies about the Iraq War. Then the Democrats swore up and down that they weren't targeting Republicans, but there was the IRS Lois Lerner scandal. Then you have the whole Biden administration. There was COVID where we were lied to. There was like the young people in America have never known a time, Gen Z I'm talking about, have never known a time where the government wasn't just lying outright. At least people my age can look back and say, well, I mean, before the turn of the century, there were times where the government was dishonest, but they were, trying to do this, or we had some amount of faith. Maybe it was misplaced, but we had some amount of faith that the government was being honest. If you're a Gen Z, you're like, look, the government has been lying for my entire life. I've never known anything other than the government to lie to us. They ruined my if you're 25 now,
Yeah.
they ruined
Your college
you as a young person. They destroyed. You couldn't go to your prom. You couldn't go do activities with your
Walk
friends.
the stage.
All these things that were absolutely stolen from Gen Z because of lies. So now they're hoping that Donald Trump is going to actually be responsive to the things that they want, and it looks like in at least this case he's not, and you're going to see Gen Z is not going to tolerate that.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.